Hello everybody, today I'm going to be doing a deck tech on Clavano First of the Blessed. So for 1 white and a black, you get a 2/2 legendary creature, Vampire Cleric. Whenever you attack, target attacking vampire that isn't a demon becomes a demon in addition to its other types. It gains, when this creature dies, draw a card and create a tapped 4/3 white and black vampire demon creature token with flying. So the main goal of this deck is to basically aristocrats mostly, but also having a lot of vampires and easy sack outlets. Okay, so I have split up my deck into a couple categories. So first is ramp, removal, vampires, aristocrats, card draw, grave recursion, and tokens. So first we are going to start with ramp. Every deck needs ramp. And what I have here is I have Soul Ring, Orzhov Signet, and Thought Vessel. I have Thought Vessel in here because when I've play tested this deck, I've had to discard a lot because I've drew a lot of cards from just like standard risk, like from cards that let me draw cards when I sacrifice creatures. So that's basically it. So for removal, I have a lot of removal in this deck. I think Aristocrats is very good, so having high removal is also very good, so you can protect your cards. So I have one board wipe in here. So cards like Bitter Triumph are getting rid of pesky creatures or planeswalkers that are messing with my board state. I have cards like Deep Cavern Bat for hand disruption and basically just not letting my opponents be able to get rid of stuff. So, it's pretty good. Despark is for bigger creatures or just bigger permanents. So, that's pretty self-explanatory. This is to exile big creatures I could get through my defense. Deconstruction Hammer is just honestly a pretty decent cheap option for artifact and enchant removal. Duskrose Reliquary is very good for a lot of things. It's aristocrat piece because it makes me sacrifice a creature artifact, and I get to exile target artifact or creature, so this kind of has a banishing light effect. Disenchant just because Viper's Kiss, so if there's any commanders or creatures that have pesky activated abilities, I can do that. Final Payment for creatures. I have some bigger ones. Secure the Scene. It's kind of a nicer card. Destroys exiles a non-land permanent, but they get a 1/1. And tap creatures, just cause. My next category is vampires. I have a lot of good vampires in this deck. Sanctum Seeker has won me a couple games. Whenever vampire control attacks, each opponent loses 1 life and gain 1 life. Very good, since everything's basically a vampire. Edgar Charmed Groom is an anthem, and he can be sacrificed repeatedly. He flips a lot. Another anthem effect in Markov Baron. Bloodveil Purveyor for flying creatures, and he can get really big. Sure, it gives my opponents blood tokens, but unless they're using a lot of them, he gets really big. Sanger Vampire for flying protection. Defiant Bloodlord, since I do gain a lot of life, target opponent's going to lose a lot of life too. It's a good way to take care of the threat on the board. Like if you have a big threat on the board, just get rid of them. Queensbay Paladin returns creatures. Bishop the Bloodstained. I have a lot of vampires, so I'm going to ping target opponent for a lot. Squire's Devotion makes a token, gives lifelink, not that big a deal. Welcoming Vampire gives me card draw for little vampires, which there are a decent amount of. Vampire Nighthawk for flying protection and has Death Touch. Pretty good. Scabbarded Legion, Cutthroat Contender, Unholy Officiant, and Child of the Night. So, there are a lot of good vampires in here. Most of them just are for value, but some of them are just so I can get on the board like earlier than my commander, so I have blockers. So for card draw, I have some good value cards. 2 arms, so if I have a big combat turn and all my creatures are tapped, I can cast 2 arms, untap them, and draw a card. Vitalize, Life Gain, Markov Purifier. I didn't mean to make this deck super easy to gain life, but I put this guy in here just for some simple card draw. And cards like Fanatic Offering, Village Rites draw me multiple cards for sacrificing. Bargain is kind of a thing, kind of a decent thing. I don't really know how to describe it, but it helps me dig through my deck and get good card draw. My final thing is Aristocrats. Since the main theme of this deck is Aristocrats and Vampires, of course we're going to have Tessa Karlov in here, because of course we do, because she doubles up everything, and my creature tokens get Vigilance and Lifelink. Vengeful Blood Witch, I think it's a nice card. It's a bit basically kind of a blood artist for your creatures, but it's still a decent effect. Ptolemy, instant speed sacrifice, so if my commander gets targeted, just sack him for value. Vita's Inquisitor, just more Aristocrat. Vampiric Rites, this combos off with another card, I'll set that there. Power of Heroes lets me tutor up cards. Baron Petrum Greywater makes me multiple vampire tokens, and is also a Raped Aristocrat. Falkenrath Noble, basically Blood Artist, but cheaper. I don't have Blood Artist in this deck, I really probably should. But this guy is just basically a Blood Artist, but is a 2/2 fly. Vran Executioner Thane, he's a vampire, and he makes each opponent lose 2 life, and I gain 2 life. Sure, only triggers once a turn, but as I said, there's instant speed sacrifice in here. Nocturnal Feeder for the die triggers. Carmen, basically, she gets really big from sacrificing. When anybody sacks a permanent, she gets bigger, and then when she attacks, I return a permanent with lesser mana value to the battlefield. Dimir Houseguard, not only is he a good sacrifice piece, he also has Transmute, allowing me to tutor up any 4 mana cards, which there are quite a bit of, like Sanctum Seeker, what is his name? Markov. Edgar Markov, Turn Soul Cleaver to make my commander big. In the case that there's very little blockers on the board, I can just basically sweep everybody with commander damage. Very unlikely, I have not done that yet, but still. Acclave Aclazot, simple 1/4, sack a creature, each opponent loses 1 life. Midnight Reaper, gets me a lot of card draw. Sure, it cost me 1 damage, but I still draw a card, and if he was a vampire, it'd be a lot more better. Now, Oathsworn, Vampire. Every vampire deck needs this. Sure, he enters tapped, but that's not his point. You may cast Oathsworn Vampire from your graveyard if you gain life this turn. As I said, Vampiric Rite comes off with it. So first, you want to sacrifice Oathsworn Vampire, you gain life, draw a card. Cast him, sack him, cast him, sack him, cast him, sack him. Do that as much black mana as you have. Sure, it's not infinite. If I had a little bit more money, I probably would have gotten some better sacrifice pieces that give me mana, but I ain't got that. Glorifier of Suffering to make the board a bit bigger. So, thank you everybody for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe so you can get more deck text like this. And I'll see y'all next time.